want you to talk about is how you're sort of inserting a little bit of your soul into your documentary. Alright, we're rolling. Stand by. Action.
This thing rolling? My name is Reno Arawijaya.
Yathmin Kannangara.
What is your documentary called?
It's called An Economic Crisis.
It's called Screen School. My documentary really compares and contrasts the difference between online schooling in different countries and how other schools have been affected by the... Can I start again?
It's based on the struggles of the Sri Lankan people and how they are coping with the political corruption and economic crisis that's currently happening over there.
In countries, third world countries, there are kids who have been in isolation and in online schooling for 2 years. They're not getting that teacher-student connection that we're getting here. And this documentary really highlights how this has had an impact on their schooling. It's had an impact on their mental health, and we look at how fortunate we are and how COVID really has changed the course of the education system.
Obviously, I'm Sri Lankan, so I feel that my family and relatives have been impacted directly by this economic crisis, and as I am traveling there, I feel like I could use that to my advantage and document how they are coping.
Oh, do you want me to hold the boom?
So today, for my documentary on the Sri Lankan economic crisis, we filmed some more interviews with my English teacher, Mr. Archer.
Mostly just interviews and B-roll.
We took an interview of him where he discussed, what he thinks of the country and how he thinks people are coping.
For the interviews, I got one side from the more Australian perspective of schooling and one from the Indonesian or third world country perspective.
But overall, I had a pretty okay experience because
that's really what I'm trying to emphasize here, the juxtaposition between the experiences of schooling, especially within this time in these two countries.
I'm segueing my English interview into me traveling.
In terms of B-roll, I really just filmed things about family because, you have kids all over the world who have experienced, a break in family due to COVID. There's people who have been separated for a while, So I really wanted to show that, especially within my own family.
In Sri Lanka, I plan to cover the areas of how people are coping with how they cook food, how the fuel shortages are, the lines for petrol are really long, and how kids in orphanages are dealing with it.
Okay, there's documentary filmmaking and there's normal filmmaking, right? In comparison, documentary filmmaking is hectic. Why? Because you don't know what you're doing until that very last stage when you're in post-production, you're editing your movie. You don't know if that movie's gonna be good or bad. Sure, you might be in a controlled environment, but you're not controlling the environment. You know what I mean? You're not scripting anything. You're not telling people what to say. You're not writing something down and have people memorize that. It's different in the fact that these are real people and they're talking and you're filming them. It's all about human nature here. And at the very end, you're in this room, this dark room, and you're editing this film and you're praying that this movie's gonna be good. And that's just, it's terrifying. Before you start a documentary, you're like, are we gonna make this work? Are we gonna get the right people? Are people gonna say what you want to say or what you want them to say? So it's hard, it's tough. I have a lot of respect for people out there who put all of their time into documentary filmmaking. Did you get that right?